Hi everyone. So are you ready to celebrate International Women's Day on March 8th? Hashtag Press for Progress and join the global movement to help accelerate gender parity. So today our hashtag is 3Women3Continents 2018. Today, as a united action, Belle, Roquita, and Elise are celebrating International Women's Day in a joint global movement to help accelerate gender parity and gender harmony. 3 women, 3 multiple boys mom, 3 single mom at a time, 3 global bloggers, and 3 spiritual leaders. Where women work showcases here the impressive work and achievements of 3 women and 3 continents, shining the spotlight on their own respective companies, from Australia to across Asia and Pacific, via Europe, UK, the Middle East and Africa, through the United States and further. So we, as female leaders, have pressed for progress in our own lives, and now we are helping to pave the way for other women coming through, helping via awareness, storytelling, women empowerment coaching. So 3 Continent 2018 is here. Join us all week to celebrate. Yes, hi, my name is Elise, Elisa Card, and I'm a mother of 5 boys. I'm an entrepreneur, a blogger, a coach, empowering women coach. And I live in Paris, France.
Yeah. Beautiful. And Roquita?
Good morning. I'm Roquita C.Williams. I am in Memphis, Tennessee in the Americas, and I am a railroad professional, an entrepreneur, and a corporate leader.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. And good morning, or in my case, good evening right now. My name is Belle Lockerby, and I'm an entrepreneur, a corporate refugee, and I am a mother, a single mother at that, to a daughter and a son. So the topic of gender harmony is something that's really important. And I have been working for the past 5 years in helping mothers in particular develop and build their own businesses. So I love seeing women kind of rise on their own terms. It's really cool.
Well, what I wanted to add also, it's individually, okay, we are a drop, but together we are an ocean. So as a mother of 5 boys, who are now men, and 1 grown baby son, I will press for progress. And as I have always done in my life, with my different roles as a mother, as a role model, being a single mom at a time, as a household spiritual leader, I will press for progress and, well, identify alternatives to be more inclusive, you know, boys and girls, or men and women, and also teach the boys, to think 50-50 as a goal. This is probably the main thing, and actually mindset is really important. So this is what I have always worked on or implement in the family with the boys.
Perfect. Thank you. And I guess it's really interesting hearing you talk about the 50-50 role for girls and boys, because I'm very conscious of that, having a son and a daughter, and especially being the majority parental influence for my children as a single parent. And we do co-parent very well, to give credit to their dad. But I'm very conscious that my son is not disempowered with the need to kind of find gender harmony. I want him to grow up so that the conversation or the power is equal. It's a really important thing. And from the space of entrepreneurship, I guess I am focusing on really teaching that next generation around focusing on their strengths and their talents as an individual, as opposed to focusing on their strengths and their talents as a gender. That's a really thing that's important for me. So Roquita, I know we had a little bit of a conversation the other day around working in rail, which is a very male-dominated industry, and I have spent time in a very male-dominated industry as well. So what kind of changes as they roll out? What would happen for you within your work environment and also within your business? What's important to you?
Thank you for asking that question. So I've been in the rail industry for 10 years and transportation for 20 years. And in that time, I've always worked in a majority male environment. And one of the things, my boys are 17 years apart. I have a 22-year-old son, Jamie, and then my little one is 5. So I've had two very different mothering experiences. But I think the most profound thing that has come from me working in the rail industry is having an appreciation for how men process the world. Working with them allows me to have a greater appreciation for how they think through things, how they enter the world, and how they impact one another. Not only how they impact each other in the workplace, but how they impact us in the workplace. So those things have kept me mindful as I review my own parenting strategies. What do I want my sons to be aware of? I want them to be aware of how they move through the world, right? I want them to be able to measure the impact they have on the women that they touch in their lives personally and professionally. And I think as we continue to have this conversation around gender harmony, what you'll see is situations for women like me where I have to take less precaution. So today, I have to take considerable precaution around my work relationship. No dinners with one-on-one guys after 8 o'clock. I joke often that I wear my husband's deodorant. It's a serious joke, but it is definitely one of the realities that I have in working in a male environment, in a male-dominated environment. And so what I want is for my sons to create a space where women don't have to take those precautions. Where in a workplace, we can have synergy and equal movement in a way that women can just show up and be themselves without having to take all of these extra steps to protect themselves inevitably from the men that they work with.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's a really important point, and I guess rounding back to Elisa, your point about us all being mothers of boys. Absolutely. When we think of International Women's Day, sometimes we do focus on lifting women up, but we forget about lifting the men up as well. So I guess to round it out, what are some of the, from each of you, what are probably, your favourite 2 things you think any females can teach the men in their lives? So whether they're their sons or their nephews or their brothers or their husbands, what are 2 things that you think women can do to help achieve that gender harmony goal?
Well, the first one is to act with respect. This is so obvious that people really forget about it sometimes. And the second thing would be to promote more the women, to, instead of thinking of them first, always, to apply this way of thinking, to think about other women, if they can do something, probably not better, but to cooperate if it's in the corporate world, or if it's in the home, to let the others speak their voice and, give more empowerment to women rather than men.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And Roquita, what about you? What are 2 actions that you feel other women can take?
So the first action I think women can take is to tell their stories as an experience and not as a complaint. So when I say that, I'm saying that as we, move through the world, we often run into these challenges and obstacles with men. And instead of sharing with them the experience that we're having of them, we give them a complaint. We just tell them, oh, you do this to me, I don't like this, but we want to know, how does it feel? So I think one of the things we can do is to share our stories, to tell our stories of how we're being impacted, but share it as an experience with them rather than a complaint.
Yeah, and I think that's a fantastic point to make. So from my perspective, I think really it is focusing on the individual regardless of gender.
Yes.
And really thinking about the intent, or always going back and asking the person, what's the intent of your action? Because sometimes we can make assumptions on our own because of our own filters and how we see the world. Whereas sometimes people just may not have developed their own self-awareness around how they're landing on others. So whether it's men or women. So I love all of those points that we've brought up. And I know that we've talked collectively to support this movement around Press for Progress. If any women want to share their stories on their experience with gender or wanting to achieve gender harmony, so whether it's a challenge that they've found in the workplace, or if it's a challenge that they've found through parenting, or even as an entrepreneur in dealing with either the same sex or the opposite sex, they're free to leave a comment on this, and we will all check back over the month of March to help to provide some guidance on what they can do.
Absolutely.
Yes. Great.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Elisa, for organising this. And Roquita, and this is probably one of my favourite things around being a female in this day and age, is I love technology for being able to connect up with global communities. It's incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. It was really fun to be here with you. And yes, as you said, we could, with technology, we could be all the three of us here and start this little movement. Who knows, probably next year we will be maybe 10 or 20,
Yeah.
you know, with technology.
I love
Yes.
that. Love that idea.
Definitely. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Oh,
Well,